You seen the video about Florida's most annoying neighbor? That felt fast. My words per minute on that one went kind of crazy, I think. That one felt like really good. That was almost musical.
Nearly 25 years ago, I began covering complaints about this Central Florida home.
It's a junkyard.
Seminole County officials said the owner, Alan Davis, had been piling junk in his yard in violation of local ordinances.
But every time they keep screwing with me, I keep moving more. And there is nothing they're going to do about it.
What do you call a crook in a green uniform? Seminole County. He has a lot of these signs, it seems. It looks like he switches them out.
Davis called it a political protest.
It's basically, I'm tired of the government steamrolling over people, and they can just kiss my
Back then,
Damn,
Davis had just a small amount
damn.
of junk on his property.
Kiss his
You
whole
think there's a
ass?
lot here now? Why don't you come back by tomorrow? Let's see what I really think of the county.
At that point, Davis had not yet built this giant statue of a human rear end, which he would later load onto his truck and drive down the interstate while headed to court hearings.
The name of
That does not look secure. If you drove behind this willingly, you had a death wish. This shit looks like it could easily topple over.
Davis had not yet been arrested, put on trial, and sent to prison for criminal littering.
When he would get letters that the
Damn,
foliage
that's
was
big.
too
Criminal
high,
littering.
the weeds are too high in the front yard, that he would actually...
For 25 years, Seminole County has been trying to get Alan Davis to clean up his yard on this quiet residential street. And for 25 years, Alan Davis has been thumbing his nose at the county and the people who live in this middle-class neighborhood.
Far be it from me, but why? Just move. Like, that feels like a waste of 25 years of your life as well. Like, does the county care? Marginally, yeah. Is it actually affecting them? No. It's just wasting his time. Like, that's such a waste. That feels truly not worth the time commitment.
He just adds and adds and adds every day.
David Radosevich lives 2 doors down.
I was very happy to hear that they're going to finally do something.
For decades, he's begged the county to take action.
Did you think when I first met you nearly 25 years ago that we would be standing here talking today?
No. Well, I thought for sure by now it'd be cleaned up, to be honest with you.
Live from WKMG, the Problem Solvers. This is Local 6 News at 5.
It's not just the airplane fuselage outside Alan Davis's home that angers his neighbors.
That's pretty
nor is
cool.
it the sports car body. It's the airplane, the sports car, the water heater, the metal drums, the twisted seal, the plastic tarps.
He's got a pool back there that's really, really bad.
Alan Davis's legal troubles began in April 2000 when a Seminole County code inspector found uncultivated vegetation in excess of 24 inches and objectionable, unsightly, or unsanitary matter that threatened the health,
Unsightly?
safety, lives, and welfare of the citizens.
Who doesn't like to look at a good fuselage? Are you kidding me? I just don't understand. That does wonders for a property value.
County officials repeatedly told Davis to clean up the yard.
First I've heard of that
His
admiration,
response?
yikes.
Fat chance!
That's
Instead,
not good.
Davis began hauling out more junk. He obtained some of this material from his former job rebuilding vintage World War II airplanes.
Now when you do it in a big scale, it gets results.
Tonight, you'll visit places in this country where neighbor has turned against neighbor.
In 2002, the CBS News program
Okay.
48 Hours featured the dispute as Davis began creating his most infamous display, a 6-foot-tall fiberglass sculpture
How do you spell organized crime? Seminole County government. Nice.
of a rear end. At least one neighbor complained to the county that the statue was obscene, prompting
Obscene?
the sheriff's deputy to pay a visit.
He told me...
In
that
what
he was
way?
gonna
It's good
remove my
cheeks.
sculpture, and I quite flatly told him that he would have to talk to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Davis also made mini sculptures that are mounted on bricks from his front yard. He then sold these online. Davis figured if people bought them, it's not junk, it's art, protected by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution.
Davis's antics prompted Playboy magazine to publish this cartoon
Playboy?
depicting him annoying his neighbors.
Nice.
But it wasn't the statue that concerned county officials. It was the overgrown weeds and other unsightly junk. Seminole County's Code Enforcement Board eventually issued Davis a $13,000 fine, with an additional fine of $250 per day until the violations were corrected. But Davis refused to pay.
They will not get a single dime.
As you probably guessed by now, Davis does not live within a homeowners association. If he did, the HOA could have potentially foreclosed on Davis's home. But outside of HOAs like we are here, Florida's homestead exemption generally prevents debt collectors from seizing your primary residence.
Nice.
But other personal property like cars, furniture, and jewelry can still be seized and then sold at auction to pay off debts. Seminole County officials wanted to seize the junk in Davis's yard, in theory to pay off all his fines, but more importantly, to get this property cleaned up. So the county filed this lawsuit seeking to foreclose on Davis's personal
Maybe he is
property.
making more of a
We
dent
would
in the
ask at
county
this
than I
time to
thought.
have a summary judgment on the foreclosure issue.
Mr. Davis? Your Honor, I object.
Davis represented himself in court.
Of course.
He's not an attorney, as the judge often reminded him.
I gotta go to the law library. I gotta call a friend of mine and find out how to serve a subpoena correctly.
If I may, why not just get an attorney? Like, he's clearly pretty well off to be able to be affording these items. These are pretty expensive items. You could probably just get an attorney. I think it'd probably go better. Actually, kind of topical, you know what I just learned tonight? I went to my parents for dinner. One of my cousins, Steve, has been in jail for the last 6 years because he represented himself in court after trying to defend himself from financial crimes. He's got 4 more years to go. I hadn't heard from that man in 2 decades, only to find out he's in prison.
Soon, forklifts, hazmat trucks, and moving
He should have
vans rolled
filled
into
it
this
with
neighborhood
tungsten so they couldn't lift it like Thor's hammer.
as workers began hauling away the junk. Neighbors watched in amazement. 2 months after the cleanup, Davis's belongings were put on the auction block.
Do I hear a
This
bid?
is such a crazy
What is your
story.
bid, sir? $50. $50.
50!
The winning bidder was John Weiser.
This is a whole nightmare.
He paid $95 for all of Davis's stuff. But little did Seminole County officials know then, Weiser and Davis were friends. Months after the county hauled away
Nice.
vehicle parts and scrap metal, we found the same items right back in Davis's front yard.
You look
Smart. See? That's smart. You always have to have an accomplice. He was 10 steps ahead of Seminole County.
at the humor of the whole thing. You've got one little guy, one little smart that is just running them around in circles.
Seminole County Sheriff did not find it humorous.
I'm not concerned at all about what people's perception is. I have an obligation, responsibility that people live in the community.
Soon, Davis was adding even more junk to his property, including toilets filled with cactus plants. He made a new butt sculpture, this one tattooed with the name of the judge who ordered him to clean up his yard. Then Davis took his political protest
Free advertisement for the judge.
on the roof of his house, where he assembled these steel drums in the shape of a middle finger.
The title of the sculpture is Salute to Seminole County, You're Number One.
You're a first class, you know what?
The frustration of his neighbors was bubbling over. Some secretly hoped that Davis would get struck by a bolt of lightning.
I'm getting off this road. That was close.
But not even Mother Nature could stop him. By then, it
He's
was
too
clear to
powerful.
everyone that
Zeus couldn't
civil
smite him.
penalties were not going to deter Davis. So county officials turned up the heat. Deputies arrested Davis, and prosecutors charged him with violating the Florida litter law. That law
fuck is
says
that?
any person who dumps litter in an amount exceeding 500 pounds is guilty of a third-degree felony.
Damn.
Do you remember when I got arrested on your birthday?
Davis feared being separated from his young daughter and wife, but he says the fight was worth it.
Women getting the vote. What did they do? Civil rights. I mean, every political protest in this country has always gone above and beyond.
If I may, what is he hoping to accomplish here? Like, I fully believe, like, I think he should be well within his own right to put as much shit here as he wants to, obviously within, like, reason. But what is his goal? Like, even if let's say they did just say, like, okay, you can put the stuff there, then what? I wonder what the end game is my question, really. I don't see like the greener pastures at the end of this battle. Rebellion. No, again, but like rebellion has like an end goal. You like overthrow the corrupt government and stuff. Like there's a goal there. He's not even really fighting the government per se. He's just putting a lot of shit on his property, and then the government comes in angrily. Like he is not doing anything to change the laws or change their policies or fight them exactly. I'm just wondering, like, what happens next? Yeah, just a big fuck you. Which I think he's accomplished. Like, I feel as though he has 100% accomplished the big fuck you for 25 years worth of this. I don't know if it's worth more money and time invested into it, you know what I mean? Because clearly nothing's changing on the Seminole County side. And I think he's got the message fully across. I don't know. I'm just curious, like, what the ultimate endgame is.
Yeah, she is my best supporter. And my daughter is always saying, I wish I had a normal daddy.
You will hear
that was really sad. Oh my God, his daughter doesn't seem to respect him.
A jury began hearing evidence in the criminal case.
The value of my home, you know, nobody wants to buy it because nobody wants to live near it.
Code enforcement officers showed jurors photographs of the numerous violations, and a health department representative testified about the hazards the property posed to neighbors.
The mosquitoes may be able to breed in that environment.
If there is a theme to this trial,
mosquitoes can breed everywhere.
It should be one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Davis's public defender argued that his client was exercising his constitutional rights.
What rights are you trying to protect, sir?
My right to privacy and my right to freedom of speech.
It did not take jurors long to reach a verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of illegal dumping of litter.
A judge sentenced Davis to 1 year and 1 day in...
It is something to think about. His neighbors are literally trapped there with him. They can't sell their house because no one's moving in next to this guy. That would be infuriating. Like, let's say, like, you couldn't afford your house anymore, right? Like, maybe you lost your job, fell on some hard times, you can't afford your house anymore, but you can't afford to sell it either because no one's buying it because of this guy. That is actually fucking baloney right there. That would be a nightmare.
I caught up with Davis while he was incarcerated.
You know, I get charged with felony littering, and then now I'm cleaning garbage.
Davis would occasionally send me letters from prison. This one contained a legal document challenging his criminal conviction. It was written on toilet paper from the prison bathroom. Yes, this is toilet paper.
Damn, his handwriting is
Davis's
clean.
yard may be messy, but his handwriting is exquisite.
That's what I'm saying.
It's all a matter of what somebody thinks somebody else should do. And in this country, we don't have the right to tell our neighbors how to live.
Davis predicted he'd be locked up again someday.
Will you be back in prison?
Probably. Yeah, probably will.
He was right. Just months after being released, a judge found Davis violated his probation and sent him back to prison for another year.
I think I'm me visiting Bubba tonight.
When Davis got out again, he violated his probation again.
Mr. Davis, so all you had to do was follow the rules.
And went back to prison again.
Absolute lunacy. He has a daughter and a wife. And this daughter is now growing up without her father because he just wants to keep making his protest of kiss my ass, here's a bunch of junk in my yard. This is not a noble mission. Now he's just like an absolute shit dad.
But if you think a total of more than 4 years behind bars would change Davis's behavior, it didn't.
I've only been here, only got out of prison yesterday, and I'm going to start fertilizing today. Seminole County can kiss my...
The day after Davis
Holy
completed his
shit.
full sentence, he began growing his weeds again.
Jack in the Beanstalk. How about Alan in the Beanstalk?
He's back.
Neighbors like Jan Schmidt feared it would start all over again.
It's like you cannot be rational with an irrational person, and I think he's irrational.
Using Google Maps Street View, we can see what happened next. This is what Davis's yard looked like shortly after he got out of prison. And this is what it looked like a few years later. By 2016, Seminole County had placed over $1.9 million in liens on Davis's property. Once again, the county obtained a court order to seize the junk, this time hauling away more than 70,000 pounds of trash and debris. And once again, Davis was arrested for felony littering. He pleaded no contest to those new criminal charges and ultimately spent another year in jail.
His daughter has unironically grown up without her father now. We saw his daughter when she was like, what, probably like 8 or 9, and he has spent a cumulative 5-ish years, 5 years and some change in jail now. That's craziness. He refuses to to just stop. He's not even making a difference. He's not fighting anything. That's crazy. Oh my God. Like, he's not even sticking it to the county. Holy Lord. It's just getting so sad now.
I've been a renegade all my life. I don't like being told what to do.
At age 69, Davis says his political protest is still underway. By his own admission, his yard is more cluttered than it's ever been.
First off, people think I'm crazy. I didn't get into Mensa by being an idiot.
Davis claims to be a genius with an
Oh,
IQ
God.
of 147.
Oh, God.
I cannot immediately confirm that, but I can confirm he started building yet another butt statue, which he plans to drive around town again while delivering lawsuits to government officials. The county's issued you millions of dollars in fines for all this. It hasn't deterred you.
Nope.
They've seized this junk. It's all come back. That hasn't deterred you. You have had 2 criminal convictions. That hasn't deterred you.
Nope.
What will deter you?
Ask him about his daughter.
No.
I really wanted to hear his take on that.
There is nothing in their ability that will deter me.
So this is all against the government.
Oh yeah, it's baked.
What about your neighbors?
What about my neighbors? My neighbors have their own property. Freedom is freedom. This is freedom.
This is freedom.
This is freedom. For an intelligent person knows this is freedom. If you don't like it, you're free to go somewhere else.
If Davis were to suddenly clean up...
Counterpoint. In the argument of freedom, people are free to not buy anywhere near you, meaning all the people that are there right now are literally trapped. They're not free. You're holding them hostage by making it impossible for them to sell their property. You are now keeping them from being free. Like, it's an argument you can swing a million different ways here. It's not an effective protest. He's not getting the point across, and he's not actually changing anything. All he's doing is preventing himself from being there in his daughter's life because he keeps going to jail for this. They can't leave. They literally can't leave. They can't sell their houses because nobody buys this neighborhood because of him. That was what the guy on the testimony that gave his testimony was talking about. And he's right. He's 100% right. If you can no longer afford to be in this neighborhood, or you need to leave for your job, or whatever, a family member gets sick, you need to move to be near them, you can't sell this house because no one's moving in because he has completely ruined the property value, and no one wants to live near this because of health hazards, fire hazards, all kinds of shit. So they are literally stuck with him. That's not really freedom. Like, he's actively encroaching on others' freedoms around him. Why do I keep seeing this take? It's fine to like be on his side, like, in principle. I think that's totally understandable. But in this case, it doesn't make sense. The take I keep seeing is they're free to leave. They are literally not. Right now, pick up your stuff and leave. Well, you're probably not a homeowner. Let's say, tell your parents to pick up their stuff and leave, and see how well that works while they still own a home. You can't do it. You literally can't do it. You have to sell your house to be able to leave. You have to sell your property to be able to leave. Very few people can afford multiple properties, and they cannot sell in this neighborhood because of him. That's the problem. You're assuming people are just going to be like, all right, I'll just eat a couple $100,000 loss. The real world doesn't work that way. People can't take that kind of financial hit. You can't just abandon everything and leave without being able to sell your house first. It's just not how the real world works. Not everyone has oodles and oodles and oodles of money to just be like, oh, I don't mind if I can't sell this property for what I put into it and everything I lost on it. I'll eat that. I'll just get a new property over here. Then don't. Not everyone else's problem. God, they have to be kids with these takes. Life circumstances change, man. I'm sure you're not in the same house you grew up in. People have jobs, lose jobs, get new jobs, family issues arise, you have to leave. You need to sell before you leave, otherwise you're eating a huge loss that people just can't afford.